Rob Caskie, engaging storytelling. You know, in this time of great challenge and this pandemic and the resultant lockdown and the great issues in terms of trying to survive, make a living, survive physically, never mind financially. One of the greatest survival stories of the modern age is often associated with Ernest Shackleton and his endurance expedition to the Antarctic in 1914 to 1916. And isn't it fascinating to consider, when we consider the disruption that COVID-19 and this pandemic has created for all of us, that Shackleton, as he prepared for that journey south, having bought 2 ships at great expense and carefully selected the men for the expedition, that the greatest conflict our species will ever know broke out in terms of the First World War. If you want to imagine disruption, try to imagine the disruption to his carefully laid plans. And Shackleton, having made the offer of his men and his ships to the war effort, got a typically Churchillian reply from the Admiralty that read, "Proceed." So proceed he did. And he sent off one team to New Zealand to lay the food and fuel depots out across the ice towards the South Pole, whilst he took command of the other, a ship called Polaris, which he had renamed Endurance, since his family motto was, "Through endurance we conquer," and perhaps worth reflecting upon that as a personal motto at this time. Through endurance we conquer. He made his way to that pinprick of an island in the South Atlantic called South Georgia, dominated at the time by Norwegians, the headquarters of world whaling, to find that the pack ice and the sea ice that year was perhaps the worst in living memory. So once again his plans were disrupted. He had to delay his departure whilst he replaced coal and other provisions on the ship, and then eventually would take off a month late down into the mighty Weddell Sea of the Antarctic, that huge body of water between the Antarctic continent and the Antarctic Peninsula,